Good afternoon. First of all, I'd like to thank the members of the media for coming out to DeKalb as we prepare for potentially a major weather event in our county and in our state. First and foremost, I want to thank the men and women standing to my left and my right, and particularly to those men and women who serve us every day in an exceptional and professional way to ensure that our county and its citizens are safe and are protected. And it's because of them I offer my deep appreciation and my continued support. But first and foremost, I want to emphasize to the citizens of DeKalb County that our roads and drainage professionals spent yesterday and today checking equipment and making sure that we are ready if needed. Our roads and drainage has sufficient salt and sand material on hand and to cover and protect our roads. We are prepared to begin 24-hour operations tomorrow morning at 7 a.m., and we will run that operation until traffic resumes in normal operations. We can't stress enough, however, that the importance of staying off the roads unless absolutely necessary. Our crews can better prepare and clear the roads when there are fewer cars and fewer and less congestion. Lastly, please stay safe. DeKalb County, led by the men and women standing with me this afternoon, will be working around the clock to ensure that each and every citizen is safe and secure as we face what could potentially be an historic weather event. And now I would like to bring to the podium our Director of Public Safety, a man I have tremendous respect for and confidence in, Dr. Cedric Alexander.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir. Good afternoon. So just a couple of things here I need to share with you here with the media. As you all well know, as of this very moment, we're under a winter weather watch. DeKalb, along with certainly the entire metro area, is currently under this same watch as well. The time frame that we're looking at here, of course, we know changes periodically. At this moment, we're looking for some rain and snow between 6 p.m. and continuing throughout the night on Friday. DeKalb Police, we certainly will have personnel that has been placed on standby, will be under a 12-hour shift if need be. Our fleet has equipment, and we're ready to equip our police vehicles with chains if that become necessary. And of course, we're prepared to navigate ourselves through any snow-covered roads. And certainly we've learned a lot from the last experience we had here, I think about 2 years ago, which I'm quite sure we all remember. Command staff assignments have been scheduled for coverage in the Emergency and Operations Center in case we need to activate that center. Emergency operator centers also will be activated to help coordinate operations within the county and with our external partners, as well as critical infrastructure, hospitals, CDC, Georgia Power, and of course the colleges and universities that sit within our county. We are already working with external partners to ensure that their needs will be met, as well as within our county to maintain our operations. We're working with the school system to ensure that any activities on Friday night, if necessary, are canceled. We're watching the timing of the storm in case there are needs to be an early dismissal to make sure that kids in our community gets home safely. Our emergency management unit under Chief Susan Leffler, which you will hear from here shortly, is also working with Peggy Allen, who's the Director of Roads and Drainage, and to make sure that we're coordinating our efforts together, because it's going to be very important between Chief Leffler and Director Allen to coordinate their both areas of responsibility should we go into a more inclement weather. Our 911 center is fully staffed, and we're preparing for what may come. We're scheduling additional overtime operators on Friday and Saturday, and we're coordinating with the DeKalb County Police Special Operations Unit to ensure that our operators are able to be transported back and forth from home. What does that look like? We have four-wheel drive vehicles, and we will utilize those vehicles to get to any of our emergency personnel to get them home or to bring them to work if additional personnel are needed. All 911 operators have been advised to prepare a go bag in case they have to stay some additional shifts, and it's always that possibility. We have generators that are being checked and topped off with fuel for our call centers. In terms of our fire services, several of our stations throughout the county, and we'll identify that and share them with you later, will certainly be open for warming stations if needed. We also will install snow chains if we find it necessary for our vehicles if the conditions tend to worsen. Our fire personnel will staff the EOC, our Emergency Operations Center, to work with other agencies to manage resources, and of course we will staff our 911 to assist with prioritizing calls based on severity and acuity. Administrative sworn personnel will staff quick response units tasked with responding to and mitigating wires down and trees and branches down. Offgoing shift members will be required to augment staffing as needed. All stations will remain operational throughout the period. DeKalb Fire Rescue is an all-hazards organization, and will remain at a constant state of readiness to respond to all weather events. Our primary message here, as you heard from CEO Thurmond, is to make sure that our residents are prepared, but more importantly, for us to stay home as much as we can. We are utilizing all of our assets, our resources, and of course our partnerships across the metro as well too, to make sure that citizens in this county are prepared for what may come. We know we're being briefed by weather services on a regular basis, so at this moment what I would like to do is ask Chief Leffler to come up and share with us. She's head of our emergency management unit, to share with us what she knows at this point, and she will also advise us to how frequent these updates will come to us as we prepare for this situation. So whatever occurs, I think it's very important for the community to know that we're prepared to do whatever we need to do to keep people safe. Susan?
Good afternoon, everybody. So we've been watching the storm system come in now for several days. And at first it seemed to be a fairly mild system with maybe, a dusting of snow. Over the past day and a half, those snow totals are starting to increase. And we're looking at bands of snow that could be coming in after midnight and dumping up to an inch an hour at times. So we're looking at a significant event. And so to say that, what I want to start with is I need our citizens, I need our government, I need all our folks to be prepared, not just for yourself, but for your family, your neighbors, your pets, and your elderly neighbors. So we need to take care of each other. We need to be prepared. So what I'm saying basically is go to the grocery store now if you need food, because this weekend it's very possible that the roads are going to have 3 to 4 inches of snow on them, which is not conducive to most of us who drive in the South. So be safe, stay home. If you have an emergency and have to get out, allow public safety to assist you. We are going to be out on the roads, and that's why we need everybody else off the roads, so it's safe for us to get to the emergencies. So saying that, the National Weather Service latest information that came in today at 11 o'clock is we anticipate rain tomorrow afternoon, and then by probably 6 or 7 o'clock tomorrow evening, as the temperature starts to drop and the sun goes down, the temps are going to drop, and we are going to change to a sleet for a very short amount of time, and it's quickly going to change over to snow. We expect light snow through midnight, and then overnight you're going to see some larger bands that come right across the metro area, heading from west to east, that are going to dump significant amount of snow. So currently the forecast for DeKalb is 3 to 4 inches, and possibly 4 to 6 inches in a few places. Currently those places look like the eastern end of the county out towards Lithonia and Stone Mountain. Now, temperatures on Saturday. Well, We're looking at a high right now of 31 or 32 with 10-mile-an-hour winds, which means a wind chill factor. So unless we get a lot of sunshine, I do not anticipate much of that snow melting. What little does melt is going to refreeze immediately that evening, and so what we're going to get is a harder freeze over on Saturday night into Sunday morning. Sunday's high temps look like about 35. So again, we might get a little bit of melting of the snow if we get that large amount, but it's still going to stay. So we could see snow into Monday if this current forecast that we got from the National Weather Service this afternoon stays. So that's why we want everybody to be safe. Sign up for Code Red. Code Red is our reverse 911. It's our emergency notification system. You can get severe weather warnings. You can get winter weather warnings from that. It's on our webpage, on the county webpage. It's right on the front. You sign up, you make a profile, and you get these notifications. You can sign up for tornadoes, winter weather, or any other kind. We will be opening up our Emergency Operations Center tomorrow in anticipation of this storm. As of now, we are in the monitoring mode. We do have another Weather Service call this afternoon that should give us a clearer picture of the timing on this particular storm that's coming in. But we do anticipate a significant snow event at this time. So we want everybody to be prepared, be safe, and take care of each other.
Thank you very much, Chief. Also, I'd like for you to hear from Director Peggy Allen, who will talk a little bit about road and drainage, what their preparation plan has been, and what they anticipate doing going forward. Ms. Allen?
Good afternoon. We've been preparing for several days now in anticipation of winter weather coming in. We currently have all of our crews have been readying equipment, material, getting everything stored in the proper places. And beginning at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, we will enter into our 24-hour operation. All of our crews will be on hand. We have an all-hands-on-deck alert, so everyone from crew workers to equipment operators to secretaries will be on staff, will be on duty, and we begin our 16 hours on shift, 8 hours off shift. And we will be doing that until the weather has passed. We're currently fully stocked with equipment and material. The county currently has 16 snow plows and sand spreaders. We are currently stocked up with an appropriate amount of sand. We have approximately 1,000 tons of sand on hand, approximately 1,000 tons of salt on hand. We have approximately 2,000 tons of sand on hand, about 25 tons of calcium chloride. And we have over 700 tons of salt and sand already pre-mixed. The calcium chloride is in the event, as you heard Chief Leffler mention, the temperature dropping. If those temperature drop, we will change our mixture from salt to add calcium chloride to that mix. The Chief also mentioned to-go bags. In roads and drainage, we have to-stay bags. All of our people are equipped with bags that they will be staying on site. We will not leave the Camp Road area until the incident has passed. We will sleep on site, eat on site, and we will be there around the clock until the area is clear and safe for citizens to get back out on the road.
Also, in addition, I think it's important that I would like to ask Lieutenant Mooneyhan to come up. He's in charge of our 911 operation upstairs. That's where it all begins for us. So if you would, Lieutenant, kind of brief us on your staffing patterns, what your plans are going forward. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. As Director stated, we're going to be working some additional operators on overtime so that we have plenty of call-taking staff. During 2014, in the last storm, we had periods where we were doing 500 calls per hour. For us, 200 would be normal. So we're going to be prepared for that. We're also going to have them bring in essentials if they need them in case we need to have folks stay overnight. And again, we're going to rely on special operations to help us get to work and back home. But 911 will be ready to take the call. Thank you.
Okay. So we're going to open up for questions if you have any questions.
You spoke earlier about kind of watching the, severity of it or projected severity progress. Can you speak a little bit more about initially what you thought this would be and why you do believe that it might be a longer and potentially history-making snow event?
Chief Leffler.
Sure. So we work very closely with the National Weather Service when these type of events start coming in. So the distant forecast, they track 3 main models with different variables within those models. So the initial forecast showed that the path was going to take a different track and there was not going to be as much moisture that was coming in. So they did not think we were going to get as much snow. They've been predicting snow the whole time, not ice or sleet, but specifically snow. As they've seen, as it gets closer, they've seen these literally bands of clouds that they anticipate are forming and are going to come across, just like we've seen the severe thunderstorms coming, the same pattern. And so that's going to dump heavier snow on us, which means more accumulation. The severe Arctic cold that we are currently getting is also going to add on to that and cause more snow. So that's why the difference in the original forecast from 2 or 3 days ago, as opposed to this morning, as the snowfall totals seem to be increasing.
A couple of questions. All right. What you're saying sounds like the formula for not just kids sledding on their sleds, but we end up with what we had before. And the other question is, the governor put a task force together of a lot of different counties and weather services, including WSB. Are y'all any part of that?
We were not part of the governor's task force, no, sir.
Oh, okay. And are you anticipating ice or?
We are not anticipating ice, which is really good news for us. The National Weather Service has stated that they believe it's going to be a really quick changeover from rain to snow, which is good for us. As you know, Peggy's been dealing with a lot of downed trees because of the drought, and as soon as we get any significant kind of rainfall, the trees have been going over. If this had been an ice event, I would be really concerned about the number of trees that go down. Once the trees start coming down, they hit houses, it puts people out of their homes. That leads to sheltering people. It leads to a lot of power outages, which when you have an Arctic cold, that means sheltering folks who don't have any place else to go. So considering this is not going to be an ice event, it's going to be a snow event, that makes it a little easier on my planning, but we are still absolutely prepared if something like that does start to happen. We've already got cots available. We've already got pre-designated shelters that have already been looked at by the Board of Health and the American Red Cross to make sure that they are available and ready to use.
To your point, I served on the task force, on Governor Deal's task force. And out of that service, I can state without any reservation that not only is DeKalb, but I'm convinced that Metro Atlanta and the state of Georgia is prepared for any type of eventuality or weather event that might occur. It was a lessons learned experience, and we've seen it in other weather patterns since then, that Georgia, as well as Metro Atlanta and DeKalb, is ready to address whatever issues that might present themselves. And I think we should thank the governor for the vision and for having the foresight to set it up, and we will benefit from it. Let me add, Director Dr. Alexander mentioned the event 2 years ago. At that point, I was serving in another capacity as school superintendent. And I appreciate the opportunity to thank the men and women here today, because without their support and without their leadership, the events that occurred in DeKalb County would have been tremendously different. As I recall, only about 6 students were sheltered in place as a result of that event in DeKalb County, and it was because of the support of the people I stand here with today. Dr. Alexander personally picked up at least 6 kids and delivered them to their homes on the night of that event prior to 12 a.m. in the morning. And so because of that experience and because of what I've been able to gain and learn since then as CEO, I want every citizen in DeKalb to know that all hands are on deck, we're working together, we're prepared, and we are ready and available to assist and support them if needed.
All of you were here in some form or fashion in 2014 and most in 2011. Just to sort of piggyback on your point, I'm wondering if there was something that is very different or specific in place, even if it's just the amounts of material that you have in place as a result of the lessons learned from that experience. Can you speak to something that is sizably new or different?
Yes, to that point, after the storm in 2014, we did realize that we needed additional equipment. And DeKalb ordered 4 additional salt and sand spreaders after that storm. We also realized that we needed to prepare with materials like salt and sand. Those are materials that we needed to buy in the summer. You can't get anyone to deliver sand and salt in the middle of the winter. So we began stocking up for this winter storm last summer in June. That's when we began placing orders for salt and materials. So we did have go through a learning experience. We knew we needed more equipment, more material, and we need to order it ahead of time.